I feel a little bit like a vegan, just about to hold a lecture in front of the Texan Barbecues Association annual meeting, spoiling all the fun, because I have one message for you today. I think purpose is dead. Why do I believe that? Well, I used to be purpose preacher. Purpose was my living. For over 10 years, I helped the biggest brands in the world to find their purpose. But I quit. Why did I do that? I realized three major things that made me change my life, that made me really change my daily business. And I would love to tell you a little bit more about that. So the three things that I've learned over the last 1.5 or 2 years is the one thing is that purpose is dead. Brands just have to realize that. The second thing is I believe that brands can save this planet, but boardrooms have to realize that. And the third thing is I truly believe that the question of why is also not necessary anymore. We have to question ourselves how. But let me start from the beginning. So when I say purpose is dead, I want to say something about that, because I don't think that purpose per se is dead. It's just the way how we as a consultants advised companies on purpose is dead, because it became a soul-searching exercise. So what we did is we tried to align people behind a common culture. We tried to find soul-searching reasons why we are here and why it's so good to have us, and everything went so cozy. But I think this is exactly what it's over. For me, and this is what I've learned working with one of the biggest energy companies in this world, is there is only one vision all of us have to align behind, and this is saving this planet. We have a huge humanitarian crisis. We have a huge climate crisis. I don't have to talk about that. So that's the only reason why all of us should think of and should be here, and this is why brands and huge corporates should be here. This should be their core vision. And this is why I believe soul searching is over. And when I think of soul searching in companies, I think we all know this, like 2050. It became this one date. Never in human history before did we have one date that we all tried to fix it until this one date. Never before, not in the last centuries, right? And how can you then ask yourself why? Nobody cares why you are here. The question is, how are we going to fix this date? So that's the first thing. And also, because I talked about the Texan Barbecue Association, I looked up their purpose. Even they have a purpose, of course. And their purpose is making the world of barbecue a better place. Wow. And I think this shows what purpose became. Everyone trying to be and make a better place by drinking, watching, even barbecuing. This is really, let's say, ridiculous. And this is what we have to stop. So this was my first learning. 2, I believe that brands can be the force that really change the world. Why do I believe that? I don't think that politics is going to fix it. Look at what politicians have to fix. I don't want to be a politician these days. They're not keeping up with fixing things. There's so much going on. When we think of institutions, and institutions have been very important in fixing things and helping us to understand and move over the last centuries. I don't have to hold a lecture here of the breakdown of institutions, right? We all know that. No institutions, no more trust in huge institutions. So who is going to fix it? And I believe it's 2 major forces that's going to fix it. It's individuals, and we've seen a lot of great movements over the last years. Beautiful, great, empowering people going on the streets, fighting for change, pointing out issues. This is what we need, and this is what, thank God, so Gen Z, the next generation, will bring to the table. But the second force, it's brands. And why do I truly believe that? It's because brands have shown us over the last decades that they can align communities behind them. They can change narratives. And what they can do, they can change people's behavior at scale. And that's what we need to do. All of us have to change. Boomers have to realize that the good times are over. Millennials have to understand that the good times are over. And Gen Z just never got in touch with the good times, so they know it's over. And this is what we have to understand. And if we understand that we have to change at scale, then we understand that brands are great systems to do so. And I just give you some examples. I mean, IKEA, for example, all of us know the brand. We've heard in thousands of studies that IKEA is a huge brand case. But the thing made us all DIY heroes and heroines. I mean, I hate this thing, but I have a Billy at home and I build it by myself, right? All of you did. Great. Or look at Airbnb, a brand that helped us to feel cozy in a stranger's bed. Wow. Last time that happened, it was a one-night stand. 3, Oatly. I love this example. It's a very young brand, but this shows what they are able of. They make you drink your beloved latte macchiato, chai, whatever thingy, with oats. And you even have a good feeling because it's a brand with a political statement. And this is what brands can do if we stop asking ourselves why. Because what we have to do is asking ourselves, how? How can I make this change happen? How can I, as a brand, onboard people, making access to the change, to a change of lifestyle, to change of products, to change of how we consume, how we consumption energy, whatever it is, everyone, each of us have to change. I know it's so hard to take because we are still feeling safe in the world we are in right now. But we have to realize we have to stop, and we need urgently help from huge systems to change. 2. So 3. When I realized that, I was in the middle of a project for a huge corporate. And my team and we started researching. We said, okay, so we all did purpose over the last decade. What are we going to do? We're in the middle of a project. We told them we're going to deliver a purpose. But we realized it makes no sense to deliver a fucking purpose, guys. Okay, so what we did is we broke down entire industries. We broke down finance. We broke down insurance. We broke down food, fashion, apparel, energy. So all the big industries that have to change and have to bring a lot of change to all of us. And there were 2 things that we started to understand that totally changed the way how we think of brand, how we think as a corporate, how we think of economy. And these 2 things are, 1, systems just change as a holistic system. So all of the players within the industry have to change. It cannot only be one, all of them have to move. And then this is when they start moving and changing. And the second thing is what we realized within these holistic systems. It's 5 roles that we understood from breaking down all of these industries. And by doing that, we understood suddenly it doesn't matter why they are here. The question is, how can they contribute on changing our lives, and how can they contribute on helping us to change and helping politics to change, helping all the stakeholders involved to change. So this is what we found out. And now I want to show you these 5 roles because I think they bring a little light to what we've discovered. So these 5 roles are the visionaries, the activists, the specialists, the builders, and the rulers. And I think it makes total sense just when you hear it, right? And there are 3 that are more built to change the system, which is the visionary. And the visionary is a brand, all of us know the visionary. Just think of one visionary, he was all out there. It's, for example, Tesla, right? It's a visionary brand. They will never scale car selling. Doesn't matter. What they did is they disrupted the industry. They changed the future of mobility. And this is what they did, and this is their role. And how did they do it? They showed all the huge corporates that it is a different way to do it. Second, we have the activists. We just heard about Patagonia, typical activist brand. And what activists do is they don't do so much. What their superpower is, they communicate. So what they do is they demand change. So they set the narrative on the fact that we have to change as a society in a certain industry, as consumers, as industry players. So these are activists talking about aligning communities behind their joint vision to change. Then we see specialists. And those guys are amazing because they have this huge power of partnering up with other industry partners. They have a very deep knowledge in certain topics, and they help all the others to get better, and they very much focus on themselves. So they're not much out about, sometimes they're not known at all in the industry, but they are very important to help everyone in the game. Then we have the builders. And the builders are brands that help to bring what the visionary thinks of and what the activist is talking about, and really onboarding the majority, onboarding the masses on topics that have to be changed on, like they're building access for everyone. And then we have the rulers. And normally all the brands that I've worked with this approach already are like, nah, I don't want to be the ruler. But I tell you one thing, I think the ruler is the most powerful and needed role, because it's the brands that have deep trust, especially from the older generations. So the ruler brands will be the brands that help the older generations especially to move, or the ones that are more skeptical about this whole transformation thing. So they have the power to really move, especially the late majority, into this new and next phase. And if we look at these 5 roles, it's super important to understand there's no cooler, no better, no more important role. We need, as I said in the beginning, all of the 5 roles to make the change happen, because all of them address different issues, have different superpowers, and all of them take other masses along their way and other parties involved. And these are the 5 roles that I wanted to talk with you about. And when I realized all this with my team, well, I thought back, my baby Jesus in branding, Simon Sinek, always preaching the why, always start with why. This was what I grew up with. And what we realized was the fact it's no longer about having people that believe in what you believe in, understand your why. It's much more important to have people that need on how you help them, that you help them to change their lives at scale. And this is what brands can do. And I deeply believe that we have to let go of the why, that we have to let go of purpose. Because what it is we've learned so many transformations within branding. And in the 90s, for example, branding was something that we just used for advertisement, right? It was just a brand like having a cool claim or whatever. And then in the in the millennials, for example, brand was all about brand management and whatever. And then in the 2010s, suddenly purpose appeared. And I think what we all have to realize, times of purpose are over. We've had purpose now for the last 10 years. And it did a great job. It did a great job in trusting brands. But the world changed and we need something new. And the world needs that we help everybody to do the change. And this is what brands can do. And I truly believe that we all will change and that we're going to make it happen. And these roles will help us, and also brands will help us. And this is how I thank you.